Today, we're answering 4 questions about Bible translations and
which translation you should be reading.
intro.
So, first question, what is a Bible translation?
Well, the Bible was actually written in Greek, Aramaic, and Hebrew. And so, if it's not in Greek, Aramaic, or Hebrew, it's a translation.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Old Testament was written in Aramaic and Hebrew, and the New Testament was written in Greek.
Precisely. Do you
So-
speak Hebrew, Aramaic, or Greek?
No, I don't. Do you?
No, so we're going to stick with an English translation.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. Why are there so many different translations?
All right. Well, there are so many different translations, or when you look at Bibles, it's versions, especially in English, they're different versions. And the reason there are so many is, first off, it's been translated from different languages for thousands of years. Early monks were translating it, Christians have translated it. And so now we have versions in English, different English translations. Probably the most popular is the King James Version that a lot of people know of. And there's other versions that are there, and they're all written to make it easier for us to understand. We don't speak the language that the Bible was originally written in. So these are all different versions to help us understand what the original texts were saying. And so some are easier. Some are written in formats that are like you and me speaking to each other. Others are written in formats that are, I guess, a little more proper. A lot of times the King James, since it's such a popular version, I bring that up, it has almost an Old English sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be a little more difficult for newer readers to read it. So there's, it's kind of like a children's Bible. It's meant for kids so they can start to understand the stories of the Bible. And there's a whole spectrum of them. And if you're wondering, go on Google and search it. And you'll see this huge spectrum of where all these different versions fit in. And so you can start to figure out which one might work for what you want to do and what you want to read.
So some of them are like more word for word, like the King James.
Yeah.
And then on the other end of the spectrum would be like a paraphrase, which is more like a
Exactly.
conversation, similar to like what the message is.
Like down to the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
this huge, big spectrum of
And then like
different
that
Bibles.
thought for thought would kind of be like in the middle between those two. So,
Exactly,
okay.
exactly. So question number 3. Is there one translation or version that's more accurate than the others?
That is a great question. And a lot of people want to know if there is one more accurate, because obviously if there is one that is more accurate, then that's the one, that people
Yeah.
would want to read. And with so many different versions out there, it's an easy question to come up with. The short answer to that is no, there isn't one that is more accurate than the other one. There are going to be a lot of differences in the way that the versions are worded. Some are going to be in the more of like the Old English style, while others are in the language of today. There is no major theological difference between the different versions, so it really is a matter of preference and which one you want to read, but they are all equally accurate. These translations, they relied on a group of scholars, a group of Hebrew and Greek scholars to help them to ensure that they are being accurate to what those original manuscripts actually said.
Okay, so Jesus dies in all of them?
He dies in all of them. He raises in all of them.
Okay.
He rises in all of them.
Okay, all right. So the main points are still going to be the main
Yes,
points no matter
exactly.
what. Okay,
Mhm.
great. All right. So last question.
Okay.
The reason you're here,
Question number
the
4.
reason we're doing this. Question number 4. What Bible should we read?
You ready for this?
I hope.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Settle down. Easy.
What?
It
It doesn't matter.
No. The most important thing that matters, or the two most important things that matter, is that you are reading it and that you are understanding what you are reading.
Okay.
So if you can understand the King James and you love reading the King James, sweet. If you like to read the New Living Translation and you can understand it, do it. But the most important thing is that you are understanding what you are reading. And that isn't just our opinion, that's actually a principle that Jesus taught.
Okay.
He taught in parables because he wanted to make sure that common people could understand what he was talking about.
All right. I'm actually going to throw a fifth question in here.
Okay.
So, which Bible did you read?
Which
or
Bible?
which do you like to read?
Which one do I like to read? Right now, I'm reading a lot out of the Amplified Bible.
Okay. And why?
Okay, why? Because I love getting all the information that I can. I love knowing that some of the different nuances between the different versions or things of that nature. And what the Amplified Bible does is in brackets or in additional footnotes, it will put in additional information. Like for instance, if the Greek or the Hebrew word, if maybe it doesn't have a good like equivalent English translation, it will kind of put in brackets more so what that word could mean. So you're getting a really complete idea of what the original manuscripts say. So I really am enjoying that translation or that version.
Okay. Sounds good.
And yourself?
Oh, for me? Well, I've also enjoyed the Amplified because you started reading it and then it was like, this is really good. But NIV, NLT, those are both nice. And every once in a while, a little bit of the Message.
Yeah, we do read that every now and then.
And it's just nice when they just put it in such plain words.
Especially in some of those parts that are a little bit more challenging to understand. You may understand the words, but trying to figure out what it means. Sometimes it's nice to be able just to have something out there so you can automatically be thinking, how can I apply this?
Yeah, and so sometimes you just read a few different ones just to try and understand what's going on.
Yep.
And so you switch around.
Yep.
So, all right, well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for joining us,
Yes.
and we will catch you in the next one.
Yes, go read your Bible, whichever one you want.
And we'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.